Hello, students. Have you ever gone on an adventurous trip? Do you know what is the meaning of adventurous? Adventurous means something exciting and interesting. When we take risks and try out new methods, ideas, and experiences. Don't you think it's very interesting? Today, we are going to read about an adventurous sailor, Sindbad, who lived in Baghdad. Hope you will enjoy this chapter. Sindbad had gone on a number of dangerous voyages across the world. He had decided to stay quietly in Baghdad, but he grew bored and decided to set sail once again as he wanted to see the rest of the world. He bought goods for trading and set sail with some of his merchant friends. Do you know what is the meaning of merchant? Merchant means a person involved in wholesale trade, especially one dealing with foreign countries or supplying goods to a particular trade. For many days they traveled from one island to another. One day they came to an island which was covered with fruit trees. They decided to go ashore. His friends went to gather fruits and flowers, but Sindbad took some food and slept for some time. He went into a deep sleep. When he woke up, he found himself all alone in the island. His merchant friends, as well as the ship, had gone far away. Sindbad wanted to come out of the island. So he climbed up to the top of a tall tree and looked out over the island. He saw something white. It was very big. Later on, he realized that it was the egg of a huge bird named Roc. The legs of the bird were as big as trees. When the bird was sitting on its egg, Sindbad tied himself to the leg with his turban and flew away from the island with the bird. The bird took him to such a height that the island was soon out of sight. Then the bird came down so fast that Sindbad lost his senses. When he opened his eyes, he found himself surrounded on all sides by great mountains that reached high above the clouds. It was impossible to climb the high, steep mountains. Sindbad thought he had not gained anything by his flight. But when he began to explore the valley, he found it was covered with huge diamonds. Sindbad became very happy, but there was something frightening over there. All along the slopes of the valley, there were huge serpents. Some of them were so big that they could swallow an elephant. The snakes were coming out of their dens at night, and during the day they hid themselves from the rock. Sindbad took rest in a cave. In order to protect himself, he had rolled a large stone in front of the entrance. He came out of the cave at dawn when the serpents went to their dens. Suddenly, he saw huge pieces of raw meat falling from the rocks above the valley. He had heard stories in the past about this valley of diamonds, but he had never believed them. The huge pieces of meat were thrown by the local merchants. The huge eagles were used to carry the diamonds for them. When the eagles had young ones in their nest, they flew down into the valley to get food for them. The eagles were picking up the large pieces of meat to feed their young ones. The merchants were easily getting the diamonds stuck to these large pieces of meat. Sindbad thought of an idea to escape from the valley. He took help of the huge eagles. Before leaving the valley, he collected some of the biggest diamonds. He tied one of the large pieces of meat to his back with his turban. He then laid down with his face to the ground and waited for an eagle. The plan worked. One of the eagles carried him to the top of the rocky walls of the valley. The merchants mistook him as a thief trying to steal their diamonds, but Sindbad explained them everything. The merchants appreciated him for his bravery and took him to their camp. The merchants were fair and honest among themselves. Each man only kept the jewels that had come to his particular nest. After spending the night with the merchants, Sindbad went with them on the long journey back to their homes. At last, he found the way to his own home. When he was back again in Baghdad, he gave large sums to the poor, and he lived in luxury in his peaceful house. Dear children, I hope you understood the story. Thank you and have a great learning day.